What's up, YouTube? Um, so I get asked all the time how I make my paint schemes for iRacing. Currently, I'm running here. Let me minimize my camera, but basically, this video is going to be a start to finish on how I do my paint schemes and how I make them and spec map them and all that jazz. So I'm gonna take my webcam down here. And so right now, this is the current car that I have. I'm running. This is spec mapped with a few underlays, as you can see here, and some overlays. So I would just really prefer the gold in whatever car that I'm running. So I don't know. I don't really have any sponsors right now, so I just sponsor myself basically. Eventually I am gonna have a new sponsor, hopefully, and we can make and design a whole new car. But I'm basically gonna make this same car right here, only I'm gonna make it a different color. I think I'm gonna go with the purple and black and leave it with the gold. So yeah, this is how we're gonna do this. So what you need to know on this screen right here, because we're gonna leave this open, but right here, how do I use? Um, it's gonna pop up. Oops, wrong thing. It's going to pop up right here. Chevy Camaro Z01 2022 car underscore 9244141.tga. So that's my iRacing ID, and your iRacing ID is going to be different, obviously. So first, what we have to do, we have to go into our files where our this is if you already have one. You might not have one, but we got to go into our iRacing. We got to delete all of our stuff that's in here. So, and I already have all this saved, so I'm not worried about it. So I'll delete that. Now our stock car Chevy Camaro Z01 2022 is empty, which is perfect. Then what we want to do, we want to close out our trading paints completely. So now that that's closed out, if I go back into the paint, it should be a basic car. Okay, yeah. So now we have a basic car here. We're going to minimize this. It'll change here. And we're going to put this to the side for now. Now, this is another important step. You need GIMP or Photoshop. I prefer GIMP because I don't want to pay for Photoshop. GIMP is free on Microsoft. So I'm going to upload GIMP. So now what we want to do is go into, we need to upload our thing, right? So the easiest way to get a custom car without having to do a ton of work is to go to simwrapmarket.com. Okay, so we're just going to type in here, which I already do all the time. So simwrap market, paint's made easy. You go in here and then you can browse whatever you want. I am specifically looking for A class. They got number sets and everything, and I already have one. I'll show you how to use that when we get to making decals and stuff. Let's see. We need to go to browse somewhere right here. Browse. And then we're going to go asphalt oval because we want that. And then you're going to go to A class. And then it's going to upload all these paints that you can take a look at. Here's a new one. I don't have this, but that looks pretty cool, really. Uh, let's see. Go back here. And let me see. I'm not going to buy a new one, but I'm just basically showing you how to do this. I have this one here, I believe. No, it's not that one. But all these will come with like a spec map and everything like that, so it'll make your mapping easier, super easy. And I'll show you. I don't know which one I have. It's like A10 or something like that. But they're all like $10, and it's pretty simple. So it'll say if it's compatible with GIMP, but honestly, I found some that don't say that and they work just fine with GIMP. And then they suggest Photo P if you don't have GIMP or something like that, which is like a web browser type Photoshop. Let me see, which one do I have? I thought it was A10. It is. I have this one right here. So, and then you would select your manufacturer. I drive a Chevy. And then you would add it to the card. It says here what it's compatible with, compatible software. But like I said, that really don't matter. Um, and then we can look and see what the Chevy's going to look like. They have different. Oh, there's the Chevy. And so yeah, you can clearly see like how I got my paint design. Um, Fairly easy. I don't know what that means. Probably just means I own it. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get out of this, and I will. Once you pay for it, you'll download it. Then I'll go into here and I'll go to my templates. It should be in here. Yep. So there it is, A class, and we'll just double click it. It should open right up. And yep, now we got it in GIMP. And these are the directions. It tells you how you can do things and recolor certain items. But so we'll minimize that and we will go down because there's ways to edit this. Like I said, we want I want it to be a purple, black, and gold car. So I already have, excuse me. So I'm going to click this layer right here, and that should be the red layer. So anything I put in here, it should be fine. Um, I might have to minimize this because I can't see it with the way my triple monitors are mounted. Okay, so now we have this here. Pretty simple stuff. So we want it to be a purple color. So I'm going to go in here. I hit the paint can, come in here, and I'm going to go up and find a purple that I like. Doesn't have to be perfect because we'll mess with it later if we have to. Let's go with this purple here. I don't know how that'll look when it's spec map though. So we want to make it a little bit darker. Okay. And now that we have this layer selected, it has to be selected. We should be able to click it one time, but then we're going to make sure our threshold is, decent amount. So it'll just get that and we'll click every spot that is red. Pretty simple. We'll make all of it purple. There we go. So that's one part down. Then we'll go into here and we will select a gold color. And then we will click on the other one, which is this layer here. Oops. Control Z is your friend. That will undo whatever you do here. So we want to select background color because that's where I put it. And we'll go here and here and here, so on. Now we're done with those colors. That was pretty easy. Then we don't have to worry about making the shapes or anything like that, because they have different designs and each one's going to be a little bit different depending on how in depth the design is on here. So you might have multiple drop downs, right? Like under this miscellaneous, what do we got? Pit board colors, You know what? Let's make and our pit box colors. They're going to be all the way down here, right? So they're black. Let's make this one like purple and gold. So that's our pit box colors. And then let's see what else we want. Let's do the pit board real quick. Let's go ahead and make that a purple. Same color. And then that's done. And these are different shapes, rear spoiler and stuff like that. You can add whatever you want, but that's usually all that I mess with, all right? As far as the decals go, let's see what we got. Color change the logos. That would be like the Goodyear, the Chevy signs, and etc. Car mandatory. That's gonna be, and you can always like click and hide, and you can see what it is, right? So we don't need that. Now this is important. Before you export any of these, you want to make sure this wire is off, both of them. If not, it'll show up on your design and nobody wants that. If you don't know where the logos go on the car, you can, click this and have a better idea of where it goes. Oops, wrong one. Same with the numbers. You want to know where it goes, click on it. It'll show you where your numbers go. All right, so that's pretty much it for that part of it. Now let's go ahead and start adding some logos. But before I do that, I want to make a new folder and I want to put it outside of the paintable area. That way it's on top. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. You can put it, actually, you know what? Let's leave it in the paintable area because it doesn't matter. We'll double click it to change the name uh, to logos. Now that we have that, we click on that and we will import our own logos here. Open as layers is what you want to click. And then like PNG files work the best. I have a lot of these already made, but I will go in and show you how to make another one. So I'm gonna put my basic backwoods mafia logo on it. Oh, you say it's too big. So then you want to scale it down. So you right click on this, the scale tool, because you're gonna need rotate and scale a lot. So we're gonna scale it. So I'm gonna click it. We're just gonna click anywhere and drag it down. Click and hold the middle one, move it back up, click and drag it down. Make it smaller, drag it down. And we'll end up changing it again here in a second. But now we're going to right click and rotate. We're going to click this. And we want -90. Boom. And then click rotate. Now that's done. Now you want to move the layer. You click the move tool right here. Click that. And then we're just going to center it up with the middle line on the grid, right? So that looks pretty good. Now it won't look that great. So we're gonna move it up a little bit because here, if you zoom in here, you see this spot on this hood. It's like air vents on the car. So I mean, it ain't gonna look great. It ain't gonna look terrible, but it's not gonna look perfect. So, but if we can move it and manipulate it to get it out of there, but I don't really care about that. So I usually put it down a little bit. Let's see, where do we want to put it? Let's go right there for now. And then we'll zoom back out. And this is now in the logos category, right? And this is going to be important later when you do the spec map. Now we're back on the logos. And then we're going to open as layers. I'm going to get my side decals out, which I have here. This is the one I have, side 22. I'm going to open that. This is the one that I made. And then click and drag it. That looks pretty cool. And then this is where you got to rotate. Oops. Maybe. And we're just going to click it until we are happy with our angle. And then we're going to scale it down. And then we'll scale it back up. And we're going to rotate it some more. Oops, wrong way. Okay. That's what we want right there. Then we're going to move it. All right, so that's done. And now I'm going to upload another one, which is where I put my YouTube logos. Another open as layers. So I have one that's locked in. So open as layers. Yeah, see, then we want the PNG. That's important. All right, there we go. And we will scale this down. Oops. Boom. Done with that. And then we're going to rotate it. Like I said, we're back and forth between the rotate. Um, we're going to move it and get it positioned and rotated the way that we want it to be rotated, as to where it looks uniform. Boom. Done. All right. So now that's like that. I'm going to show you. We're going to open a new, we're going to create a new one, right? And let's just do, you want it to be big, but you don't, it doesn't need to be super big depending on what you're making. Like if we're going to just do lettering or something like that, um, it doesn't have to be crazy. So I just want to show you how to do a basic decal or whatever. Excuse me. Let's do something simple, 800 by 800. All right. All right, so now it brings you up to a new one. And let's say, what do we want to put on there? Let's say backwoods racing, just because it's easy. So we'll click on this and we'll just go. Actually, we'll just leave it at backwoods for now. Actually, we'll go backwoods mafia. And then we'll leave that alone. If we wanted to change the font, now's the time to do so. You just go over to your fonts and you can scroll through and pick what you want. Okay, but let's just leave it with this for now to keep it simple. Let's make it a, you know what? I like it. Let's keep it purple just to keep it basic. So now that that's done, if we want to make it larger, just highlight the whole thing and then, up the scale of it. So let's do that. Okay, now we're going to move it over. This is where the editing can get pretty, not monotonous, but in depth. So what we want to do is click on this section over here, and then you're going to right click and you're going to alpha to selection, and it's going to highlight all of what you have selected. Then you want to click this right here, which is create a new layer, and you want to make sure that its transparency mode is on, and then you're going to click OK. Now you have a new layer of that, and then what you want to do is select grow. And what we're doing here is we're adding a background to the lettering. And we're going to grow it by, let's just do 4 today. And now you see it's like that. Then you want to change your color. Let's just do a black background so it's easy to see. And then, so now that we have black, we're going to click on our paint fill bucket. And then we're going to leave that there. And now we're going to change it from similar colors to fill whole selection. Now we're going to click on this. Boom. Now it's all changed. Easy. Then we're going to go over here to where our layer is. And we're going to just click and drag it underneath of that. And boom. Now we have a background. Right? Pretty easy. Now if you want to, while you still have that selection on, you can manipulate and move. You can move it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Just make sure you click on that, and now you can move it, right? So you can make it look like, you see, you get the point? You can make it look like the shadows are going one way or a different way. Um, but yeah, so we can do that. That looks pretty cool. And yeah, and we'll leave it at that. Now we'll come back out and we will go to select none. And now then we can take this off like that. And now we have our PNG logo made essentially. And then you just go file, uh, export as. This is important. Make sure it's PNG. So we'll just do, you know, purple backwoods. And then make sure you put it where you can find it. I usually just put it in my documents here. And we'll go export. And then it's going to pop up this. Just export again. Now if we go back over here, we could open that file, open as layers, and then go to where we just made it. You gotta find it here. There it is, purple backwoods. Open. And then now we have that. We can put wherever we want to put it. All right. And yeah. But we're not going to use that one. So I'm just going to get rid of it. But you get the gist of how to make a logo or a side lettering or whatever you want to call it. There's other ways to make logos. That's the same way, but like that's pretty basic, pretty simple. Yeah. So now that we have our basic decals made, we're going to go into back over to selecting this one here. And now we're going to right click on it, which, you know, you might not be able to see this too well. But if you right click on it, it'll give you option to duplicate the layer. So we'll just duplicate it. And now when we move it, we'll have two of them. And then what we want to do here, this is where it can get tricky and kind of monotonous and tedious if you want it to be perfect. I don't exactly know. There is a way to mirror the other side, but I just don't know how to do that. So either way, I don't know how to do that. I don't really mess with that. So now we'll click on this. We make sure we got it selected, and then we're going to rotate it again. But it's already the same size as the other one, so we don't need to mess with that. And then you can just click here because we want it negative 180. Because positive 180, it don't matter. So I always do that, and then we'll rotate it. We'll click on it again, and then we're going to rotate it to make it look semi-uniform. So now we got that done. Now we need to duplicate the other layer, this one. Now this one's going to be a little bit trickier, but we'll go back and edit it a couple times before it's actually perfect. But so we'll just go duplicate layer again, move it up here, and you'll see why it'll be a little bit different. And I'll show you why that is once we get rocking and rolling here. Okay, so now that's right. That's all set. And we're pretty much done other than adding like something across the back. But I'm not going to do that. Like you get the gist of it. You put it where you want to put it, blah blah blah. Now, if you were to have a number set, this is the time you want to open your number set. So same thing, you want to go into your files, and this is the number set that I have. So we'll open the number set. It'll ask you to convert. You want to do that. So okay, now it popped up the number set. This is what a number set will look like from SimRep Market once you have it. Or you can make your own, whatever. All right, I like to rock 23. So now is the time we shut this off. We shut the background off. We pick what we want. We want narrow, we want wide. Let's go with the wide. We pick what kind of skew we want. We want right or we want left. Let's go with this one. So then we'll drop this tab down. We'll get rid of everything that we don't want and hide it out. Boom. So that's how you would do that. Now, if you want to change the colors and everything like that, you can do it two ways. I already have one of these made, so I'm not going to mess with it. But this is just showing you how to use this file. And you go in here and it'll show you the outer color, the in color, and then that's how you can change it. So, and then once you were done with it, you could, lock them up and then make them bigger. Obviously, you want to make it as big as, it can without it being blurry because you can always scale it down in the other one. So now we don't need that. Now you should, oh well, after you get it set up the way that you want it, you just go file, export as, not overwrite, export as, or you're going to lose this number set. Well, at least in here you will, but export as, and then whatever you want to name it. Like I always just do whatever number I use because I make cars for other people. Don't need this anymore. We'll discard that. Okay. And now that we have it like this, we're good to go. And we're going to open up one of my numbers that I have made already. Open as layers. We should still be in the decals or the logos. We are. So then we're going to go to documents. Oops, that's the wrong one. This is the one I usually run with. So see, it's pretty big, but once again, scale it up. Scale it to whatever you want. See, this is where you can turn on your number blocks and see exactly how big you want it to be and all that jazz. But we can make it a little bit bigger. There, scale that. And then all you would do is duplicate it. Like I said, I'm not going to go into super in depth with this, but I am going to get it to where you can upload all of these on trading paints and everything. Like that's how far we'll go into this. So we'll just do one number. And like I said, if you want to change the number, we still have this selected. Like if you want to change the colors, let's say we want to put, let's say we want the number to be purple. Or what do we want the number to be? Whatever color we want. So then we're going to fill this in foreground, and then we're going to go fill by similar colors, right? And then you can change the threshold to whatever you want. But now we have it like this. Should be able to click, boom, boom, and the color's changed. So that's why it's easier to do it that way. I can't even talk. The paint colors on the number set. It's easier to just do it in here. So, but let's keep it white. I like it. I like that. So now, remember we had this number here. How do I use, right? So now we're gonna hide the wire. We're gonna file. So let's zoom out a little bit. File, export as, and this is where you want to go to, your recently used, or this is where. Well, let me show you how to get there. Documents, or wherever your iRacing folder is, iRacing, paint. Scroll down to stock cars, and then you're looking for the, whatever car you have. And in our case, we want the ZL122 Camaro. We're gonna open that. Remember, we deleted everything. This is where you got to change this to car underscore your iRacing number, which mine's, and then dot TGA. Has to be a TGA file. And then you're just gonna hit export, and it's gonna pop this up. You're gonna hit OK, and then now it's on here, right? So now you have your preview of this. Let me show you how I did it again. So we'll go into this. We're going to delete this. That way I can show you. See, the car is like that. We'll go into File, Export As. It's still that. Recently used because we did that. Export. And then now if we bring back up this, it's different. Then you can, hide the stamps and you can see what it would look like. Obviously, we didn't put it on the other side. And see, I like how that comes up over the back like that. It looks pretty cool, especially on the track. All right, so now we got our basic colors done, but oh wait, we didn't put any chrome paint in it, right? So now we're gonna do our spec mapping is what that's called. Which by the way, you can go through here and you can go down to your wheels and you can change them. You can change the color of your wheels, you know. I just like the gold. I think it looks awesome. So we'll minimize this for now. Now what we want to do is save this, save as, and then we're just gonna go purple backwoods because I'm gonna edit this later. And then we'll save it. Make sure it's somewhere where you can get it. And now we're gonna file, open a new one, and then we're gonna go with this. Excuse me. So now we have this because this is now we have two of them. This is gonna be our spec map. So we don't really have to worry about the decals so much on this. I really honestly could have just opened up the same file, didn't need to save it, but this is just how I always do it. And then we're going to click the spec map. We're going to minimize this here, and then we're going to see it's all not masked out. So we want to put the spec map underneath of the turn off before, and now we can see the car. Okay, as far as the spec mapping goes, when you use these cars off of SimRat Market, they usually come with one. So you want to click the plus arrow, and now you have all your channels, right? You can change this, and notice how it's red. Red means that that paint is going to be chrome. So the purple will be chrome. The black here, where it's black, it'll be matte because the way that they have it set up and the colors that they use, which is under the green layer, which they already did this for you. Like I can make another video at some point if anybody needs to actually do a personalized one without Sim Market, but it's basically the same thing. You want Chrome, it's red under the red channel. You want a matte black, it's under the green channel, and you want to put like a greenish color. Um, and then as far as the blue channel goes, it can be black or blue, obviously, whatever you want. And that is your blue is like your gloss layer. Okay. So, and I'll just show you. So and then another important step is actually, they already did this for you under the spec. So, red channel, decal layer, this, and this. So, just to show you what it's going to look like, let's bring this up. See, it's still basic, but it does have a gloss layer to it, but it's kind of weak. But so we'll go File, Export As, and this one is going to be car underscore spec underscore iracing number dot TGA. And then we are going to go recently used stock car, and we are going to export this into here, just like we did before. And now it should be chromed out. Yeah. So see, the gold is chrome because the red and everything. Um, yeah. So that looks fucking. Oops, sorry. Sorry for cussing. That looks cold. I like that actually. But you see, there's an issue, right? With your lettering, the lettering is kind of bleeding through here. Same with the number. You got the spec bleeding through the number. So this is where it gets interesting. Man, that looks awesome. Also, I didn't address this issue here. See how this is kind of big or this doesn't really fit. You would just have to go in and edit it. So let's go back in here real quick and do that. So we'll go to scale this down. Oops, wrong one. We want this one. We'll go to scale, make it a little bit smaller, and then move it. And then we'll scale it. and then we'll export it. And then we will go back in here, and now see it's a little bit smaller. I could move it down a little bit, but you get the idea. You just got to go back and forth until you get it painted the way you want it. This side is pretty good. And this side, the YouTube might be a little bit big, but actually I don't mind that because everybody knows what the YouTube symbol looks like. So actually it looks pretty decent. So now we will address this issue, the bleed through issue. And this is what's going to make your decals on your car pop, okay? So we'll go back in here and then we'll go down to our decal layer. Our logos is what we call it. So we'll just right click and alpha to selection. So now it's highlighted all the decals that we've put on there. We are going to hit Control C to copy it. Now we're going to go back over here. And under this red section, um, it doesn't really matter. We can click on the base paint and then we can hit Control V. See, but now it copied it, but it's kind of like off centered, right? So now you want to move it and try to get it to as close as you can to where your numbers are. I think that's pretty close. But all right, now we're going to go over here and we are going to hide this layer so we can see our numbers, and we're going to hide this layer so we can see this stuff. So we want this stuff to pop out, right? We don't need, but if let's say the gold here on the letters, we want to make this chrome, right? And we want to make this chrome, uh, even though it looked pretty decent. But now that we're going to be covering this up, we still want it to be chrome. So let's go in here. We will select red. Okay, it's got to be a bright red. And then we'll get our fill on, zoom in here, and we'll just see, make that red there. Threshold's pretty good here. And you could do all of this. And now what we want to do is get black out, because we are going to black all these out. So we want to turn the threshold just a little bit. And when I say black all of them out, we're just going to black out um, like the white. And we're going to black out this whole logo here. See, and then we'll go in here. Then we'll go in here. And then I'm going to remind you of what it, and now we're going to turn this back on and this back on. And then there's a little button right here. You toggle the mask on and off. And this is how you basically unselect your layers. So we'll just click this, click it twice. And now see how we're kind of underneath? That's showing that we're going to be bleeding through. So we want to move this pasted layer up. And now we're on top of that, which we might have to play with this back and forth. But before we go, let's just take a quick look. See, it's not, it's still like you can still see the bleed through right here. I'm going to show you that that's about to change. So minimize that. And now we're going to export it. We already exported it once, so we can just do export to car spec. Boom, that's done. Now we go back in here and see it's kind of off centered, right? You can see where we have the mask layout. And now we just have to play with this a little bit. Looks like we need to bring it over to the left and probably up one click. So now we'll go back into here, and then I'm going to Control Z just so I can get back to this so I can move it around. So now that I can move it around, we'll go here and we'll click on this, and I say we'll go up one, and then we'll just try that many times and see. Actually, I probably have to go up two, honestly. But we'll go in, and then we got to export it again. Then we'll go back in. We'll see. All right, we're getting kind of closer, but not really. It still needs to go way over to the left. And we'll export it again. And you just got to go back and forth and keep doing that until Oh, see, I'm going the wrong direction. We need to go to the right. That's why it didn't seem right. So we need to move it to the right because the shadow, and we want to put that shadow underneath of the 23. So yeah, let's go back into here and we will go all back to the right. And then we'll see where we're at here. File, export. Yeah, there we go. Now it's close. It's close. We just need to bring it up a little bit more. It might be hard for you guys to see, but right here is where I'm looking at for the R and the S. You can kind of see it's got like a ghosting to it right behind it. And then so we'll go up one and then export it again. And we need to go up probably two and then over to the left one. Let's go up three and let's see where we're at. You know what? We're moving it the wrong way. We need to move it down. Let's try that. It's easier if you can get it. Sometimes you can get it to export with these other number or these other color shifts, and it'll be easier to line up. But that's for a different video. And now we'll go back in. Let's see. It's still up too high, so it needs to go down one. Like I said, it's back and forth until you get it right. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. I don't see any ghosting behind the lettering here, or do I? I mean, that one does have ghosting on this side. But yeah, let's see. Hmm. I think I might need to bring it down another one. I mean, the number looks good. How's this side look? I think I may need to bring it over a little bit, but maybe not. Anyway, you get the idea. It's back and forth until you get it perfect. Okay. Like I said, I'm not really worried about this one being perfect because this is just for display. But now we're going to go back and we're going to do this. Actually, let's see. I wonder if I can move this layer. No, I can't. You have to delete this here like that. And then you move it up above. So now it's blacked out. And then now we're going to go File, Export, boom. And then we can go in here. Oops. And then now it's over the top. See? And you don't have any bleed through. It's over the top here. And same with this. Like, I think it is still a little bit high as far as that goes because it's bleeding through a little bit. But yeah. And this, where we made it red, will be chromed out. That's why I think it's off just a little bit. But there's other ways to get it just perfect. Yeah. See, it's the lettering's a little messed up here. Maybe that's just how the lettering looks. But yeah, you see that it's matte finish there, and then you got your gloss over the top. So, yep, that's basically in a nutshell how you would do it. And then when we blacked it out, it made these logos pop. If you remember before, they were kind of messed up. But yeah, and then now, so now that you have that done, If you want to upload this to Trading Paints, all you do is file, you want to save as. Actually, you don't need to save nothing. Honestly, I forgot. So now what you do is you just get on your Trading Paints. So, and then you would click upload, select a paint file, go to your documents, iRacing, paint, find the stock cars, whatever you're making. Mine's stock car is 22. Now I want the car, and we'll just go open. Okay, and since we did make a spec map, we're gonna go add spec map or decal, and then click the spec map, and it'll automatically make you a MIP file. That's why it's important to do it this way, because when you upload it in here, it'll make a MIP file. If you don't have this, it won't work. So, and then you would just upload this. Boom. Who do you want to use it for? Just me, the community. Tell us about the vehicle. Blah blah blah. And then you have to select some sort of image. Like, so I usually what I'll do is I'll go into like iRacing like this, zoom out, and then I'll just do, what is it? Uh, Alt Shift and S, I think, for a screenshot, or it's Control Shift and S. It's something like that. No, it's the Windows key Shift and S. Sorry. So that's that, and then I can just do boop and make a screenshot. Now I have my screenshot, and then I can go into here and see, you won't let you upload it, but if you do this, find your screenshots and upload that. Once you fill in like what vehicle it goes to, make sure you put the right car, whatever, and then you can add it, who can race it. You can change who can race the car. You can make it approval. I always make mine approval when I make them for teammates and stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm not gonna upload this one because it still needs quite a bit of work, honestly. Um, but I hope this video helped you get to where you need to be as far as putting decals on a car and finding an easier way to do it. And I know I took a lot of your time. I'm going to try to edit this down and hopefully it'll be a little bit shorter of a video, but it's probably going to be at least a 30-40 minute video. So if you stuck around, go to my TikTok at Backwoods Mafia SR and give me a follow. If you don't already subscribe to my YouTube, um, please give me a subscribe and follow us on Facebook at Backwoods Mafia SR as well. Other than that, if you got any questions, drop them in the comment section and I'll reply to you as soon as I see them. I'm usually pretty decent about that because I don't have a lot of followers right now. So, anyway, again, hope to help you guys out and I hope you have a great day.